Hi dreadlings, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is V, and this video is about my vinyl collection. So I more recently got into vinyl collecting because I am very big on physical media, and that's just more because I come from a background where I didn't really get to have a whole lot of things. And now that I have access to things, I would prefer to have them in a physical format rather than digital. So I typically like to collect like physical games, physical movies, physical CDs, vinyls, things of that nature. And I my goal really for like my vinyls is to have all the vinyls that I genuinely want and not just having vinyls for the sake of having vinyls. If that makes any sense. I would have had to listen, so my criteria for that is that I've listened to the entirety of that vinyl, usually typically in a digital format first. I have to have listened to the entire album in its entirety for it to be considered something that goes into my collection. If I have not listened to it in its entirety, that kind of axes it out. There's one exception in this box, but I have a Spotify account and I save all, like I have like all the vinyl saved and I will listen to them that way so I can get a feel for it because my job allows me to listen to music while I do my work. So if you're interested in like this vinyl video and any updates I have with vinyls or just me going over what physical media I have in general, then I hope you subscribe, and I'm gonna go ahead and just jump into this video. So as I said, I've just recently started my vinyl collection journey, and so I don't have many, but I do have like a record box and I keep them organized, even though there's not that many in here. So I'm gonna go through them kind of as they are in the box. Now I can't give you like I'm not very good at giving like in-depth how I feel about an album like that. That's not really my forte. If I like something, I like something. But any that have elicited like any kind of emotional response or anything out of me, you'll definitely know. So we're jumping in to the first one, which I shouldn't be surprised, is White Pony by the Deftones. This came with an insert that is currently on my wall, and it's just the standard black vinyl, but it comes with 2 discs because it's just a lot. Oh, I was so worried this was upside down. It's not. But obviously, like, when did I first hear the Deftones? When I was a very young child and I was watching The Queen of the Damned with my aunt. A movie awoken something in me that very clearly has stuck with me ever since. It's still one of my favorite movies of all time. And so, like, obviously the entire soundtrack for that movie was great, but obviously the big one was Change in the House of Flies. That song plays a lot in my head. It's a good song. And I've listened to the entirety of this album. It's really good. I'm a big Deftones enjoyer. And fondly that I have another Deftones vinyl, and that is Around the Fur. I have listened to this one as well. This one's really good. It's not better than White Pony to me, but it's still still a good one. As far as where I get these, a vast majority of these I found at Walmart, of all places. And then other ones I found at like other secondhand consignment shops, or I've just ordered them online. But typically, that's just how the cookie crumbles. And moving on to two of the ones I actually have a lot of history with. And they're both by Ethel Cain. And so we have the Preacher's Daughter vinyl. Ethel Cain is one of my top artists of all time. I have a very strong emotional connection to her music, Hayden's music, I should say. And so I'm still upset there's not a Perverts vinyl. I would like one. I know people are getting custom ones made, and that's something I'm considering, but like every time like an album's dropped, like this didn't drop super early. I was kind of late on the train for Preacher's Daughter, but I listened to the entirety of this album over the course of summer when I got my housekeeping job, and it sent me into such a downward spiral that I had to quite literally stop listening to music for a couple of months, because I was like, hey, you're not having healthy thoughts, so I gotta remove stuff. I had to punish myself. I was like, no more. And I didn't listen to music for about 4 or 5 months after I had that episode starting, and I felt like my life was literally spiraling out of control. And that's happened with every album. And it's just because all of these albums speak to me in such a way that kind of touches on a lot of my personal life experiences, and I relate to a lot of material within her music. So these hold a very special place in my heart, because they've actually allowed me to kind of actually finally start going to therapy and like trying to talk through a lot of the stuff that I went through. And I don't think I would have really had that push to if I hadn't really allowed myself to feel those emotions through music. So Ethel Cain will always just have this massive cornerstone in my life that like I can't forget. And then the second one, which is her most recent release, is Willoughby Tucker, I Will Always Love You. This isn't the one that came with the signed print. I'm tempted to get another one so I can get the signed print, but I don't really think that's worth my money over like a print. But this is also a really good album. I guess, like, circling back, if I had to choose like one song off of the album that like I resonate with the most, Western Nights is like my number one song from Preacher's Daughter, and number 2 is August Underground. Those are kind of my things. And then from this one, I am a big Radio Towers and Tempest glazer. Those are my 2 songs, and specifically Tempest. That one has strongly resonated with me, and I kind of joke with my best friend Mish uh, that like I am Willoughby Tucker and Willoughby Tucker is me because I understand those emotions a lot more than I thought I would. And this is just a really good album. It's like if I had to pick like my rage song, it is definitely Tempest. And then we gotta skip a few to get to Lady Gaga. And this is the Mayhem vinyl. This is specifically the Walmart edition. I need to take them out of... So, like, I still have them in, like, the paper sleeves, and I need to take them out. But, like, they're in these. I could hang those up. I never thought to do that. I could hang those up on my wall. Yeah! So, I'm going to take these out of their bags, because it's not good for the vinyl itself. But this is, like, the Walmart version, so it's blue disc. And while I'm not a big fan of blue, I like this kind of blue. Because it just seems like a very pure blue. So I'm going to smack that back into here. Lady Gaga has been a big part of my life since middle school. Been around... Like, I've listened to it all, really. Outside of, I think, Joanne... and things like that. There's some eras that I missed out on, so I was mostly there for the Fame Monster, Born This Way, and then Art Pop. And then I skipped out for a while, then it came back to Mayhem. So... I obviously really enjoy Disease from the Mayhem album. This entire album is really good. I really do just enjoy this album overall, and I do enjoy Lady Gaga's work. And I'll always be a little monster until the day I return to Earth. And then that Exception album, which I haven't listened to like in its entirety yet, is what is like Lord? It's Lord's album. I'm gonna say it was like Virgin. Can't show that on camera. Yeah, Virgin. And I think like they called this the bathwater vinyl, and like, you know what? Hell yeah. I haven't listened to this yet, but I was so drawn to like the imagery, and then obviously the little art book that came with it. I'm very interested in actually listening to this and then coming back with a report. I do think that it'll very much resonate with me. I don't think Lord kind of falls within the same realm as Lady Gaga to me, and so like I'll probably like it. I have not really come across like music I don't like outside of most modern country. I like old country. I don't like modern country. So that's the only time I've really drawn the line on anything. Next is a big section. So next I have the My Chemical Romance 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge Walmart exclusive. That's what that looks like. I'm showing off the ones that have pretty much like unique like vinyls as far as like the vinyl itself. I really do like this. I've been a big NCR fan since middle school. I had a very big emo phase I didn't quite phase out until about 2016, and that's when I started transitioning into goth and what I am today. I do have to thank emo me for really pushing me out there, but I also just have to thank my aunt, who was the first alt person that I was ever really introduced to and around a lot, and I always thought she was so cool. And I wanted to dress like her. I liked her style. She was very punk. And I was just really fascinated with that. So I've had a lot of influences into who I am today. But MCR, very, very pivotal to me in middle school. I didn't get, because like I didn't really have like a way to access their music digitally, because like I grew up poor, so I didn't have like, I had a CD player in middle school, and I had like I had 3 CDs to my name. One of them was like a burnt CD that had like a bunch of like my favorite songs on there that I liked. And then I had Lady Gaga's The Fame Monster CD, and then I had My Chemical Romance. I forgot it. It sucks I forgot, but it was like their last one they released before they died. Not died. Wow. The last one before they disbanded back then. I don't remember it. I just remember that it had like the big spider, and it was very Mad Max style. I remember watching the music videos. I will put it here if I remember it, because I can't remember it. I think it was like some like Life of the Fabulous Killjoys. I don't remember. It's been a while since like I've had the CD, so it hasn't crossed my mind. But I got back once I was, sorry, I'm tired. Once I was actually finally able to like access music digitally, I did download their entire discography. I did that with a lot of bands, when you could just download MP3s for free before they cracked down on that. But I had their entire discography on a iPod Nano. No, it was an iPod Shuffle, and I still have it. It doesn't work anymore, but it was like hot pink. That was what I had. And then the next one is obviously Welcome to the Black Parade. This one has, so this one's just like clear milky white, but this one like on the back has like, if you could tell, it has the little engram of the front of the album. God, this was also just a really good, this was a good album. Like, I know this was pivotal for a lot of people, but I kind of came in on the tail end of MCR's career when I first started, so I kind of had to work backwards. And I understand why this was like such a pivotal moment. I would be choosing like my favorite songs. Well, I don't have one for Lord. And then for 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, I'd have to look. I think it's the Jet Set Life's Gonna Kill You. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Jet Set Life's Gonna Kill You. I think that's like my favorite song off of there. And then this one, a lot of these were good, but I like Cancer and Mama the most. But I think my actual top song is The Sharpest Lives. Now that I'm thinking about it, I had that on repeat a lot. it scratches my brain real good in the right spots. Then next, we have Nicole Dollenjager's Natural Born Losers. I didn't get the blood vinyl that had the liquid blood in it, but I got the alligator blood red one, which is just as cool. She's more new to me. I kind of came across her music right around when I started listening to Ethel Cain, and I like both of them. This album in particular is my favorite, and I love all of the songs. However, this my top song on here is, I'm gonna have to like censor the name, or otherwise YouTube's gonna get big mad. But Angels of Prawn 2. That's my favorite song on there. It scratches my head really good, and a lot of how I kind of like address music is I write kind of as like a hobby, and I typically tie songs to like my character, and a lot of these songs can describe a lot of the situations she's been through, and in turn in situations I've been through. But you know, stories, you get to have the endings that you want, and it's like, so in my stories I get to have retribution for all the things that have happened to me, and I get to have a happy ending, you know? Who doesn't want that? But Natural Born Losers is definitely my favorite album from her, and the second favorite is coming up, and it is also the thumbnail of the video, and I just recently got it. I'm gonna finally actually pull it out of this, and it is Nicole Dollenjager's Heart-Shaped Bed. So this one came with the signed print, which I need to find somewhere to hang up. And I'm gonna go ahead and just pull it out of this sleeve. This is the Vertigo vinyl exclusive. Oh, there's another thing in here. What is that? I've never seen that. But this is what the vinyl looks like. I think that's gorgeous. I have no idea what this is. I'll have to come back to you. It was in here. But I don't know what that is. But this is also a really good album. I like all of the songs on here. My favorite song on here is Beautiful and Bad. But Tammy Faye and Lemonade are also really good. I also just like this artwork on the back. I think, like, honestly, vinyl collecting is also just a way for me to have pretty things, because I don't have a lot of those. So I just like collecting pretty things. And then we're down to the final two. So this is Sleep Tokens, Even in Arcadia. I do have 3 vinyls that I want to buy, and they're kind of on my wish list. I want to get the other 2 Sleep Token albums vinyls that I want as This Place Will Become Your Tomb and then Take Me Back to Eden. I do have the Take Me Back to Eden CD, but I want the vinyl. But this opens up like into like a 3-way situation. And I think that's really pretty. Like, if I had another way to store the vinyls, this would just be an art piece on my wall. Uh, and I know a lot of people don't really like Sleep Token, and people have their opinions, and people are allowed to have their opinions. I enjoy their music, and I know people are like, "Oh, Sleep Token's just like a book talk band," and I'm like, I'm not on book talk. I just like their music. Not, and I think that's fine. I just don't think you should be bashing people for like their music taste unless like it's objectively like there's something like very obviously wrong with it. And I just I'm just gonna keep enjoying Sleep Token as much as I can. And it's really hard to pick just one favorite song over here because there's so many. But I'm gonna have to say my top one is Dangerous, which isn't a coincidence because there's another album with a song called Dangerous that's a banger. And it's Depeche Mode's Violator album, which I need to hunt down the vinyl for. But I was like, if I had a dime, it's like if I had a nickel for every song that I enjoyed that was named Dangerous, I would have two nickels. Which, it's like, it's strange that I have two nickels. Because it's just like, oh, that's funny. And I made a TikTok joke about it like a while ago, and I still think about it. But this is a very lovely album, and I'm again glad I have the vinyl. And I want to hunt down I want to hunt down the other two that I want, and then that third vinyl that I want is Hoyser's. I don't I don't remember the name of it, but it's his most recent one. All the songs on there are banger. uh, Favorite off that one is fucking Selby Part 2. That just scratches my brain right. Oh, I put you in the wrong way. Hold on. I have to fix it. And then the final, which, when you look at, like, kind of the jumble of everything, stands out. And that is Tyler, the Creator's Chromacopia. This surprised me, honestly, because it's not exactly like a genre of music that I really delve into very often. It's a very good album, and it's hard to pick. Like, it's hard for me to really pick one song off of here that I enjoy. But I do like Ratata and Thought I Was Dead. Well, I guess I could. Hello. God. And these ones are just like the white and green, which I think is very clean. But again, it's a little weird for my collection. It's weird with like the majority of my music taste, but I honestly don't feel like it's that out of place. I'm not exactly surprised, but my history with a lot of these is when they were like super big on TikTok. Had it in my mind that like, oh, I can't listen to stuff that's like popular on TikTok because it's popular on TikTok. I don't know why I thought that, because that's honestly the way I kind of get exposed to new music nowadays, because I'm pretty much generally offline all of the time. I'm minding my business. I'm watching YouTube in my room, playing my grandma games. Like, I play bingo, mahjong, I play my grandma games that I kind of keep to myself. But it's been like the way I've been able to be exposed to new music. And then by listening through like discographies of like artists, I get introduced to other artists that way, and it kind of snowballs. So while he stands out in the vinyl collection, he doesn't stand out as far as like my music taste, because he fits in to what I overall listen to. I can't wait to fill out this box so that they stop falling over the way that they do. But that is my vinyl collection that I physically have. I had mentioned like 3 vinyls that I want to get my hands on. There are some other ones, like obviously Depeche Mode's Violator. I kind of want Depeche Mode's entire discography on vinyl. I do have like Depeche Mode's like Exciter on CD, but I want all of them. I also want like Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails is a banger. It's really hard for me to really pinpoint it. I wish that Cyberpunk recently just did like their fifth anniversary like collector set that I bought it, and they have like the little Arasaka USB that's just the soundtrack for the entire game. I want that, but on vinyls. That would be really nice, because I like all the songs on there. But I just vicariously listen to Cyberpunk radio while I'm at work, and I pretend that I'm working at the No-Tell Motel. And it's really fun because it kind of lets me escape when my job gets like kind of monotonous or I'm like irritated. That's a fun way to kind of vicariously live through something, is just pretending. Like, I enjoy the Cyberpunk soundtrack. There's not really any. Well, Undertale, I think it was another one, because I am a fan. I have the Soul Hearts tattooed on me for a reason. Stardew Valley has a good soundtrack. Honestly, I'd kill to have like Skyrim soundtrack on vinyl. But I'm honestly kind of open to suggestions as far as like other music that I should kind of like dip my toe into. Oh, I should also probably look into getting some Mitski vinyls. And Florence and the Machine. I'm surprised I haven't found any Florence and the Machine ones yet. I've seen some Alice in Chain ones at Walmart, but they kind of like come and go. But yeah, I'm just pretty much open to suggestions, and honestly looking for like new music recommendations, because I just like listening to music and it gives me something to do while I'm at work. But I think I've rambled on long enough. I really do hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.